Control your reactions, choosing peace in a world that pulls at you. There is a truth most of us learn too late. Much of the pain we carry does not come from the world itself, but from how we respond to it. Think about it. The driver cuts you off. The boss criticizes unfairly. The partner says something unkind. The friend forgets your important appointment. The event itself lasts a few seconds, maybe a few minutes. But our reaction, our anger, our words, our bitterness can stretch the pain for hours, days, even years. The event is short. Our reaction makes it long. Relationships, love, family, friendships. Nowhere is this more visible than in our relationships. When you love deeply, every word feels sharp, every silence feels heavy. Imagine being with someone who knows exactly how to wound you. One phrase, one look, and your heart pounds. You feel the anger rise like a storm tide. Before you know it, you slam the door, you raise your voice, or you go quiet for hours. Later, when the storm has passed, you sit with regret. You replay the scene. And you ask yourself, why did I let them have that much power over me? The truth is, no one forced you to react that way. The words may have hurt, but the reaction was a choice you didn't realize you had. Have you ever reacted in the heat of the moment with someone you loved, and later wished you had handled it differently? Share your story in the comments. Relationships thrive when reactions are tempered with pause. A harsh word doesn't have to be matched with another. A cold silence doesn't have to be answered with withdrawal. Sometimes the most powerful response is patience. Sometimes the most powerful response is choosing to wait, to breathe, to think. If you could choose one area in your relationships to have more control over your reactions, what would it be? Anger, disappointment, or impatience? Workplaces and bosses. Let's shift to the workplace. You've done everything the way it was supposed to be done. You stayed late, worked hard, gave more than was asked. And then your boss looks at you with a sigh and says, "Not good enough." It feels like a punch in the chest. The instinct is to snap back, defend yourself, quit on the spot. But what would that reaction achieve? Anger won't suddenly make them see your worth. Control in the workplace doesn't mean staying silent when treated unfairly. It means choosing how and when to speak. It means not giving your boss or colleague the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. A calm, collected response often speaks louder than any outburst. What's the hardest part for you when dealing with unfair criticism? Staying calm, speaking up, or letting it go? Here's a truth. Sometimes your reaction defines you more than your performance. People may forget the details of the project, but they will remember how you carried yourself under pressure. Everyday frustrations. And then there are the small moments. The driver who cuts you off. The cashier who is rude. The mechanic who oversells his service. Individually, these moments seem tiny. But stack them together and they can ruin a whole day. Why? Because each one gets a reaction. Each one demands energy. The reality is, not every situation deserves your energy. Not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes peace is found in walking away, in choosing silence, in refusing to dignify every irritation with a response. What everyday frustration do you find hardest to ignore? Bad drivers, rude strangers, or long waits? Imagine how much lighter life could feel if you carried fewer of these irritations. Not because they disappeared, but because you decided not to give them weight. Inner dialogue, the reaction to ourselves. Perhaps the hardest reactions to control are not toward others, but toward ourselves. We set high standards. We miss the mark. And then comes the flood. You're not good enough. You should have tried harder. You always mess things up. We become our own harshest critics. And the reaction is immediate: shame, self-doubt, discouragement. But just like with others, our inner reaction is also a choice. Instead of fueling the cycle of self-punishment, we can pause and choose self-compassion. We can say, yes, I made a mistake. But mistakes are part of learning. I don't have to keep punishing myself. When you fall short, what's harder for you, forgiving yourself or forgiving others? The voice in your head doesn't have to be your enemy. With practice, it can become your ally. Practical steps to controlling reactions. So how do we actually make this shift? Here are some practical steps. Awareness. The first step is noticing when you're reacting. The earlier you notice, the more power you have to choose differently. Breathing space. Take a literal breath before speaking or acting. That pause can prevent days of regret. Perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week? A year? If not, it may not deserve your energy today. Choose your battles. Not everything needs a response. Silence is not weakness. needs strategy. Redirect. Put your energy where it creates growth, in solutions, not in arguments. Which of these 5 steps do you think would help you most in your daily life? Closing reflection. Life is full of situations that pull at us, demanding our reactions. But peace doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling ourselves. When you learn to pause, to breathe, to choose, you reclaim power. Power over anger, power over irritation, power over regret. And here's the beauty. Controlling your reaction doesn't mean suppressing who you are. It means honoring your energy, your peace, and your dignity. The world may not change, but you can. And when you do, life feels lighter. Freer. Stronger. What's one situation this week where you're going to practice choosing your response instead of reacting automatically? Share it and inspire someone else who is struggling. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope these reflections gave you something meaningful to take with you into your week. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like. It really helps more people find this message. And if you'd like to join me for more conversations like this one, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you'll know when the next video is posted. I'd also love to hear from you. What situations test your patience or make it hard to control your reactions? How have you found ways to pause before responding? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, and your story may help someone else who's listening today. Once again, thank you for being here. Until next time. Breathe deeply. Respond wisely. And take care of yourself.